Before you begin working in Photoshop, you need to understand the environment. So firstly, if you look along the top here, you've got a list of menus which allow you to do various things. And as you go through the tutorials, you'll see you'll use quite a lot of them. One of the most important ones up here is window. So that allows you to open different panels over here on the right hand side. And one of the most important ones you need to open is called history. There it is. I'm going to choose history. So I've already got it as a shortcut there, but this is super important because what you can do is go back and undo a certain amount of actions that you have done. Just literally, if I go back to the last thing I did, which was to put this in, I can go back to this option here by literally clicking up here. I can go back again and again and again, or I can redo and go back to putting that object in that I'd put, the picture of the daisies. So the history panel is super important, but one thing to really note is that it doesn't do an unlimited amount of actions. There's a limit to how many it will undo for you. So that's my history panel. At the top here is the properties toolbar. So whatever tool I'm using down the left hand side here, the properties of it will appear at the top here. So say for example I'm going to use the text tool. I've chosen the horizontal type tool. The properties of that are here, so that shows me for example the font type and the colour that I can use. So any tool you're using, if you think you can't alter it, you can just look up here in the properties. Lastly, over here, the one I want to draw your attention to is the layers panel, which is this one here. Often people find it disappears. So if I double click on it, it looks like it's gone, but it hasn't. It's just disappeared down to the bottom here. So if you can't see it really easily, just click on the bottom here, layers, once, and it will pop up and you'll be able to see all your layers. So everything in Photoshop works on layers, and it's super important in your digital graphic that you put each asset on a different layer. That enables you then to be able to edit the asset, whether that's a piece of text or an image, independently of all the other things that are on your digital graphic. So if you make a mistake on one thing, it's not going to interfere with anything else that you're doing. So eventually, once you add things onto here, you will see that you get different layers appear. If you want a new layer, you can just press this button here and you get a new layer. And then say, for example, I wanted a new picture, I just pop that on that layer. And the layer that I'm working on at the time is the one that is selected. So if I'm working on this layer, you can see it's a slightly different grey colour. If I'm working on this one, it's that. If I want to move the layers around, what I could do is just click on the layer there and drag it down, and you can see it's giving me a blue colour to show me where it's going. And again, and you can do this with multiple layers. You need to rename your layers. So say for example this is the background. I can double click where it says Daisy 3 and just call that background image. If you don't name what your layers are, it's going to be really hard to work it out because you'll have to look at these tiny pictures all the time. The other thing you can do is take the visibility of the layer off. So if you're really concentrating on one layer and you want to do some really fine work on it, what you can do is press this I button here and it makes the layer disappear temporarily. It just makes it invisible. Press the I again and it reappears. That's really helpful if you've got lots of layers and you're trying to see just one in particular. Very useful. They haven't been deleted, they've just been made invisible. You've got other things on the layer panel here which we'll investigate later in some of the videos. And that's about it for finding your way around the Photoshop environment.